The Dene Research and Development Station was set up in 2016. It's part of a suite of farm research facilities run by Lincoln University. There's a dairy farm on campus where concept research trials are undertaken. The most promising of these go to Dene, and the best ideas from there are taken to commercial scale on the Lincoln University dairy farm. The dairy part of the development covers around 200 hectares, supporting a 400 cow spring calving dairy herd.
Often what you're trying to do in farm systems research is manipulations, modifications of your farm systems, whether it's working with animals, forages and soils, which may have, in some cases, a positive impact on productivity and production and environmental performance, but in other cases the outcome may actually be something that is not at the optimal level. So therefore, this type of facility is important for testing those ideas before they go to commercial demonstration. One of the things that is important is that new technologies, particularly around reducing environmental footprint, whether they're related to the soil, whether they're related to improved forages, whether they're related to cows and altering nitrogen partitioning in the cow, for example, are testing at a scale that gives really robust data that the industry can have confidence in to show that they are making a significant change to their environmental footprint. We have active research relationships with Dairy NZ, Ag Research, Landcare and Plant and Food Research, which are partners in the Lincoln Hub facility, and this provides an important facility for that research. So we're looking at a feed pad structure for during the lactation. So this is where cows come off the paddock for a period of, say, 2 to 4 hours per day, generally after morning and afternoon milking, and basically fed a diet, in this case here, which is largely made up of maize, fodder beet and lucerne silage. We're also looking at options for standoff pad facilities for winter feeding systems, which is where we have a very high environmental footprint. And that includes exploration of options where we use restricted grazing, so the cows go out onto the paddock for a period of about 8 to 9 hours a day, and then spend the rest of the time on a standoff pad. The big issues are being able to feed our cows a sufficient quantity of feed so they put on body condition score during the winter feeding period, as well as meeting health and welfare requirements. The standards for our cows to lie down, we often like our cows lying down for in excess of 8 hours per day, and we're exploring effective materials on that. So we have systems where cows have been on wood chip within the standoff pad facility, in comparison to a geotextile carpet, which is on top of a sand-based layer, and through to a stone structure within the facility.
We're working to find some accurate ways to measure leaching losses from farms. And scientists have been using lysimeters and suction cups for many years to make assessment of how much nitrate is leaching through the soil and the drainage water. But it's extremely difficult to get under the ground and collect either every drop of water that drains through or even to collect a proportional sample of that. So what we've done here is to couple together lysimeters, large drums of soil, with suction cups into one suction cup and lysimeter array. Each one of these suction cups that are buried out in the soil is connected into this manifold. And the manifold has a vacuum pump that provides a vacuum to each of the individual 65 suction cups. And what that does is to allow us to sample a small amount of the drainage water as it drains through the soil profile below the rooting depth. These suction cups are installed at 70 centimetres depth. And so when drainage occurs, the pump allows us to collect a sample of the solution from 65 different spots across the paddock, and each one of those then is collected individually with a sample bottle from these sample collection ports. That gives us a measure of the concentration of nitrate that's draining through the soil profile when leach is occurring. And our lysimeters help to give us a measure of volume of drainage, and the two together give us a measure of how many kilograms of nitrogen per hectare is leached under winter forage grazing, pasture grazing, or whatever our treatments are that are on site. We need more information about the effects of winter forage grazing. There are not enough data to be confident about what that real loss is. And so a lot of the information that we gather here is part of Pasture 21 consortium funded research, part of Forages for Reduced Nitrate Leaching research. So industry funded, industry supported, with multiple science partners all working together. The information that comes out of these measurements goes directly to the overseer science team. And Mark Shepherd and Dene and others from Ag Research are sent this information, work as members of the research project, and so that information will be used to help improve the calibration of overseer to ensure that we have accurate measures of the leaching loss. It's very important we find some solutions to help farmers to reduce environmental footprint and to stay in business. And one of the things we found at Dene Research and Development Station is that if we sow a crop of oats as a catch crop to catch the nitrogen that's in the soil, if we sow that soon after the cows have grazed the winter forage, the oats germinates at low soil temperatures, below 4 degrees C. It sends its roots down into the soil and it starts to capture some of that nitrogen. And the research work that we conducted as part of Pasture 21 research program showed that we could reduce nitrate leaching by 25–30% by sowing a catch crop of oats. And we hope that's going to be helpful for farmers in the future.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.